up everyone, I hope that you're all doing alright. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I've just recorded this voiceover for this. I think I've recorded about 29 minutes worth of voiceover before realising I had not started recording, so that's fun. Unfortunately, at the end of the recording, well, the not recording because it didn't record, my voice started to run out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do all that again because I don't think my voice is capable of talking non-stop shite for an hour. So if the voiceover is a bit short today, then sorry about that, but I will try to remember, it's its own word, it doesn't need a re on the front. I'll try to remember what I was talking about because I feel like I made some good points and some good things and I just didn't even record it, so I'm really annoyed with myself now. But yeah, anyway, it's one of those things. If you make videos or if you do anything where you record yourself, you'll know the frustration when you spend time doing something and you didn't even hit the record button. So yeah, it's fun really. But anyway, today we're going to be building a farmhouse, a modern farmhouse in Copperdale. So I thought I've not built for a while in Copperdale, so I thought I'd build another house here. It's quite a nice world, to be fair. The one thing I don't like about it is the lighting is a little bit strange, like it's a little bit off at times. Kind of reminds me of the lighting in what's the world called that we got with Realm of Magic? Oh my god, what is it called now? That is so annoying. It's not Forgotten Hollow, that's the... Oh, that is so annoying, I can't believe I forgot that. I was just thinking about it, like I was going to mention it. But either way, the world that we got with oh my god, I forgot the pack name now. The world that we got with Realm of Magic, the lighting in that at times it's a little bit strange, like the midday lighting. It's got this weird like shadow to it. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like Copperdale has that as well. But yeah, anyway, I decided to do a modern farmhouse because I was kind of inspired by the fact that it's autumn at the minute. Recently I've just sort of noticed that the leaves are changing colour. I mean, it officially becomes autumn in like, I think it was like 23rd of September or something like that. Which I kind of noticed that as well because it got really cold all of a sudden and it's been like windy and I absolutely hate the wind, so I noticed that bit. But you know, when you just walk out one day and you're just like, oh my god, that tree's orange, when did that happen? I sort of had that realisation this week and I thought, do you know what, we'll build something kind of autumnal, kind of in The Sims 4. So initially when I started building this house, it was going to be more like autumnal themed, more fall themed, but it ended up not being that way. And I decided to build a farmhouse instead, which obviously the thumbnail and the little picture at the beginning that you saw, it's set in autumn or fall in The Sims 4. It's set in fall, but the house itself, it's not really got aught to do with fall. It's just, I just wanted the thumbnail to look autumnal with like red and orange trees. So yeah. Initially, I was looking at build inspiration for a farmhouse and then I'll try and remember to put it on the video just to show you, but I found it on Pinterest and it had this like garage to the side, but I didn't want that. So I decided to have a garage, but like on like a diagonal, just because I thought it looked better, like having it on the diagonal a little bit. But yeah, do you know, in back of mind, I'm still trying to remember what that world is called that we got with Realm of Magic. That is so annoying. My brain keeps wanting to say something beginning with B. Like bruh, but then I'm like, no, that's Brindleton Bay. Like what is it? I feel like I should Google it. People screaming at me like it's this, how can you not remember? But yeah, either way, sorry, I've got ADHD, my brain's all over the place. Also, don't forget, I have just recorded this, like we aren't recording it, so if my brain's a little bit like mashed potatoes at the minute, that's why. But yeah, the idea behind the build was I wanted it to be like a farmhouse that the Sims have bought and then like renovated. So some elements of it are like from the original house when it was like a farmhouse, so like decades ago or like 100 years ago or whatever. But then there's obviously a modern renovation to it. So on the interior there's lots of like wood flooring that looks kind of old. There's what I imagine to be the original doors of the house, the ones that we got with cats and dogs, those like oldish looking ones. There's just elements to it that look like old, but then most of it's like modern, so it's kind of like renovated. Hopefully I'm explaining it all right. But yeah, as for the packs that I used for this build, I used quite a few expansion packs, so you can remember them off the top of my head, but the full details will be in the description. But I used Snowy Escape, what was the other one? Forgot already. Cats and dogs, What else? Discover University, high school years. I feel like there's another expansion pack that I used. I started off using Get Famous, but I ended up changing it because I only wanted to use like 2 little windows and a door, but I ended up just changing them. Oh god, what did I use now? High school years, cats and dogs, Discover University, Snowy Escape. Maybe that's it for expansion packs. And I also used Outdoor Retreat and Moschino stuff. Mainly used Moschino stuff for the windows because I wanted those like windows that we got with that pack. But I used a couple of like decorative things from that pack as well. I think I put the camera in the teenager's bedroom. But yeah, I think that's it for all the packs that I used. But like I said, full details will be in the description because I don't always remember off the top of my head. I really ought to get into the habit of writing it down, but I always said that I'll do that and never do. So yeah, don't hold out hope that I'll change my ways with that one. But yeah, I thought I'd show myself doing the floor plan, even though it does change a little bit on the downstairs floor. Not by much, but I'm kind of struggling with the downstairs floor plan. It's quite like a big space, but then as I was dividing it up, I was like, oh, it looks weird, and the layout of it and how the Sims would get to other rooms, like it just looks a bit odd. But I quite like how it turned out in the end, but I definitely did struggle with it. And then I also decided to do this like covered porch area where in a little bit I'll also decorate like the back garden of and everything. But I just thought it made the build look a little bit more interesting and a bit less boxy, because a lot of houses I've noticed recently, like they're just basically rectangles, which is not a bad thing because obviously in real life houses are a bit more simplistic looking, but to make them look a little bit more interesting at the back, I like doing like a covered porch or like an extension or something like that, just to make the build look more of like an interesting shape, because in Sims 4 it could look a little bit like flat and like weird. But yeah, then this is the main bedroom for the parents. They've got a little ensuite in their bedroom as well. And I initially started off with this bedroom being like brown and like greeny colour, like an olive green colour, but I ended up changing it. And I mean, I do this often, but I was flicking through the swatches for some curtains that I really wanted to use because none of the other curtains like looked right. And I changed the entire room because of the curtains, because I wanted them to match a bit better. So like I said, I started off with this like brownie swatch, and then I ended up changing it to like a more I think it's like the sandy coloured wood swatch, and then I think the bedding's like a light blue or something like that. But yeah, I really like the finished version of this room. I think I definitely prefer the light version than the darker one. Although I do really like that bed. I like the colour of it. I love the bedding of it, and I like the frame of the bed as well. I just really like it. I think it looks really good. And yeah, like I said, they've got their own ensuite. Initially there were going to be potentially 4 bathrooms in this build. So there's 2 that are like right next to each other. One's the ensuite for this room, the other one's got a bath in it, and then there's another bathroom that's got a shower in it. And then downstairs I was going to have one of the rooms be like a grandparent's bedroom, but I ended up deciding against that because I thought then it'll have like 4 bathrooms, and that's just too much for like a 4-bedroom house. 4 bathrooms, it's just a bit too much. So I ended up not going with the grandparents' bedroom idea and instead made a games room, but you'll see that in a little bit. So this room ended up being a 3-bedroom house. It's got space for 4 Sims. There's obviously the parents, they've got a teenager and then a child Sim, but you could also have like just teens if you wanted. The child's bedroom's a little bit more, it's kind of childish looking, but you could get away with it being for a teenager as well. I used a really cute swatch for this bed, and oh my god, I've never even seen it before. I don't know how, because it's from a cats and dogs bed. Yeah, a bed that we got with that pack, but I've never seen the swatch that I used for that bedroom, and it's just really cute. But yeah, still can't believe I recorded the entire voiceover, and I looked over at my computer to stop recording, and in OBS when I record, as it's recording, the button that like I press to start recording, it's red. But if you're not recording, it's blue and it says start recording. I looked over, ready to stop the recording, and I'm like, why is it blue? Why is it acting like I've not recorded? So I thought, oh, maybe I've just like touched a shortcut or something and it stopped recording. Maybe it's not too bad. Looked in my recordings folder and no voiceover. So I'm properly like annoyed at myself, especially because my voice was starting to run out. At the end of that voiceover, I even said like, right, I'm gonna have to end it early. It was like 3 minutes early or something. Like, I'm gonna have to end it early because my voice is going. And yeah, I've done alright though. Managed to get through 10 minutes. We'll see if we can get a bit further. But yeah, then this is the teens bedroom, and I really liked the swatch of this bed, but there's something about it just kind of threw me off, because I didn't really know what like style I wanted to go with for the bedroom. So I used the like white cladding thing that I think we got with, is it the one that we got with cats and dogs? I thought I'd use that and kind of imagine that it's from when the farmhouse was like originally built, and like the wood and everything is like the original wood, same with the flooring. But then the wallpaper, the other wallpaper that I used, the colour of it, that like beige colour, it just made the room look a little bit sad and a little bit like weird, so I ended up changing it to like a peachy colour, but I don't do that till right at the end. I'm not even sure if I recorded it, I don't think I did, but you'll see it in the screenshots. It's more of like a peachy colour. And another thing about the build, because the windows are black, it kind of threw me off on the interior, because I didn't want like any black on the interior really, like I weren't really gravitating towards that colour scheme. So having things be like a certain colour and then having black windows, it just kind of looked a bit odd to me. So I'm not sure where, I think there was just something about this bedroom where I was a bit like, why does it look weird? But I like how it turned out. I like the whole feel of the room. I think it looks quite personalised, and I can actually picture a teenage sim being in this room, and maybe they've got a little streaming hobby or something like that. Although if you want to start streaming, I would not have your camera point out your window, because yeah, that's a little bit weird. I mean, she does have some curtains up, so it's not a big deal. I guess she could block the curtains. I mean, my camera when I stream points to the window, but I've got curtains up, so yeah, so maybe it's not even worth mentioning. But anyway, I decided to also give this sim a TV, and I think it looks a little bit cramped, the bedroom, but it is all functional. The sims can get round that little gap and they can get to the other side of the bed. I mean, obviously it's intended for a teenager, so they don't need both sides of the bed, but it is all functional. So yeah, if they ever wanted to have a sleepover, although I don't think the sims will like share the same bed, will they, if they have a sleepover? It's kind of annoying that. I wish you could have it set so that, you know, you're having a sleepover and sims will like share a bed, because in real life you do that, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. I've only ever had like 2 sleepovers in my entire life, and I had with friends anyway, and when I had a double bed at the time, and we just like went in the same bed. And then when I was like younger, and I would have like sleepovers with my cousin, we had like bunk beds at my nana's. So yeah, I'm just trying to think, is it like normal to share a bed with a friend? I think it is. If not, arrest me, because I've done that. But anyway, moving on to the kids' bedroom. This is the bed that I was telling you about with the cats on it. It's so cute. I don't know how I've never seen this before, but I just thought it looked very adorable. I thought it was just like, I don't know, just something about it. It probably made me smile, so I decided to base the entire bedroom around this and went with like a blue theme. And yeah, I really like this room. I think it looks a little bit cramped again, because it is like a bit on the small side, and I crammed quite a fair bit into it. But I really liked it. It kind of reminded me of my bedroom when I used to live at home. When I used to live at home, I was an adult, like before I moved out, but when I was like a kid, I've moved around a lot, so whenever I mention the houses that I lived in, I have to like rack my brain which one it was. But basically, when I lived with my parents, shortly before my youngest brother was born, I had to move into the smallest bedroom in our house. We had a 3-bedroom house, and I was originally in the biggest bedroom, mainly because I had the most stuff. So I mean, I was an only child for 8 years, so I had a lot of things. And yeah, I was 14 when my brother was born, and shortly before he was born, obviously I moved into the smallest bedroom. And at the time I really hated it. Like, I remember when my dad first brought it up, and he's like, yeah, well, we're going to be moving into your own room, like your own little room. And I was just like, why? It's not fair. Why can't they just have bunk beds? Babies don't have to go into their own room anyway at first. You can sleep in your bedroom. And my dad was just like, no, they're going to be sharing the bigger room. You can have your own space. Like, you're a teenager now. It'd be better for you to have like a smaller bedroom. You don't have to like share or like that. Like, you're lucky that you've got your own room. And obviously at first I wasn't happy about the idea of having to downsize, but it ended up being a lot better in the smaller bedroom, just because it felt like more cozy and stuff. So I definitely really like gravitate towards smaller bedrooms in The Sims 4, because it reminds me of when I had like my little bedroom. But But yeah, it weren't like this. It didn't look like this at all, but it was like kind of similar, like the layout of it. I had my bed up against the wall, and then I had like a set of drawers with like this TV on it and stuff, and then everything else was just kind of like shoved in the corner because it was really like a tiny bedroom. But yeah, I loved it. So yeah, that's that little thought process. Don't really know what got me onto that. I think it was just talking about that like little kid's bedroom. But anyway, moving on to the kitchen. I don't really feel like this gives farmhouse vibes, I'll be honest. This is definitely more of like a renovated kitchen. I think initially I started off with this wood flooring, but I think I changed it. I can't remember if I did it or not, but I'm pretty sure that I did. But I really like this base game like wood flooring. I think we got it when The Sims had a patch right before the werewolves pack. Because something about it, like, I associate with that pack. Like, I remember building when the werewolves pack came out and I noticed this flooring for the first time, and I was like, it's base game, but it's like new, where is it from? So I think it came in a patch, you know, like they do a patch right before a game pack comes out, or expansion, DLC, whatever. They might put like some base game stuff into the game, like they did with Body Hair, I think, didn't they? But yeah, I really like the look of it. It's got a very like rustic sort of farmhouse, cottagey type feel to it. And like I said, I wanted to keep that same sort of a few elements. So the flooring, the doors, there's like a couple side tables, a few pieces of furniture that I imagined came with the house when the Sims bought it, and then they've obviously renovated it and give it a more like modern look, which is essentially what modern farmhouses are. It's like an old building that somebody just like renovates. Obviously you can build them new to look like a farmhouse that's modern, but a lot of the times they are just like renovated and stuff, or like decorated, refurbished, whatever you want to call it, and they're like old buildings and stuff. But yeah, I really like how the kitchen turned out. And typically I don't use the the counters from Snowy Escape. I mention this every single time I even slightly reference them, but because they're all like open shelves, I think they look a little bit weird if you use too many of them. So I tend to use them only for small kitchens. And even though this room is quite big, the kitchen itself, like I only used 4 counters in this little bit. It's not that big of a kitchen, if you know what I mean. So it is, because it's a big room, but it's not at the same time. So I thought that they looked alright. I just feel like when you have too many of them, they look weird if you don't clutter them, but then they look weird if you over clutter them. And I will die on that hill, and I will say that till I'm 100 years old, because there's just something about them. And I always say this as well, I wish that they brought out a more plain version that doesn't have shelves, which I know they're probably not going to ever do that, but I just like that, because I like the look of them. I just don't like that there's open shelves and they're all like that, do you know what I mean? I wish there was some more closed off versions. But yeah, anyway, I decided to add some more in the corner, which kind of breaks my rule of not using too many, but because it's in a separate corner, I feel like it looks alright. Also, sorry if you can hear my voice cracking. Literally can't do it about it. I've been talking for about 40 minutes. But yeah, I thought I'd have a little coffee area. Initially I was going to have it as like a closed off like little pantry thing, but I thought no, we'll actually utilise it. We'll have a little tea making station. It's not a coffee area, it's a tea area. Most of my builds have tea making things. They're not called kettles in The Sims. Don't know why they've never brought out a kettle. It's kind of annoying. There's a tea set, which is good. We've got like a tea set that came with my wedding stories, and obviously there's the tea machine, but that's not how you make tea. You don't make tea like that. That's like weird. Just bring out an electric kettle. But yeah, my Sims always have tea machines because that's the main thing that I like drink. I do like coffee, but I don't have a coffee machine. Like I have a kettle to make a cup of tea and I make coffee with that, but you wouldn't have, I don't know, I feel like having a coffee machine is just like weird. I think it makes more sense for me as a British person and as someone from Yorkshire to have a tea machine. And yeah, my Sims do drink Yorkshire tea. But yeah, they've got a little tea making area. Went on about that for far too long. It doesn't need that much of an in-depth explanation, but if you wanted an in-depth explanation about why I include tea in my builds, then that's why. But yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Like, I don't know, I feel like it's not as common in UK for people to drink coffee and have a coffee machine. Like in America, this is based on the America that I see in TV and film, so like the fake version of America. They always have those like coffee machines that like do everything for you, so you put in a little bun case. It's not a bun case, it's so making coffee, but it looks like a big fat like bun case. They put them in, and then it like dispenses your coffee, and it goes into that little glass jar. Like I feel like that's in every TV show, in every film. I always thought that that was like the weirdest thing, and I remember I used to think like, why do they have like coffee in that when it's like days old? Because sometimes they do, like in the TV shows, like they'll come downstairs and the coffee's already there, and I'm just like, why is it like, has it been sat there all night or what? But yeah, we don't really have that in the UK. Obviously we do have it, but it's not that common. But yeah, I'm gonna stop ranting on about tea. So we're just moving on to the living room now. It's a little bit of like a weird layout, this house. The way to get to the living room, you have to walk through a different room to get to it. You might have seen just as I started decorating this room, there was a door leading to it, but it kind of was blocked, if you know what I mean. So I wanted the layout of the room to be what it ended up as. I couldn't really see any other way of decorating it because it's just kind of like a weird shape. It's kind of small, but then it's not at the same time. So I just deleted the door that originally led into it from the kitchen, and the Sims will have to walk through the study to get to the living room. But I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of awkward because the stairs block the the stairs block the, oh my god, the living room. This is what happens when I've been talking for all this time. Like I just, my brain's just like, I've had enough. I've had enough of talking. I've had enough of communicating in any way, shape or form. You're only going to get gibberish and stuff that doesn't make sense. But yeah, with that being said, I've just forgot what we're talking about. My god. Can you tell that I'm neurodivergent? But yeah, I think I'm going to end up wrapping the voiceover soon, just because I feel like my brain is not with it right now. And I'm still thinking about what the world is called that we got with Realm of Magic. That is so annoying. What is it called? I'm going to Google it, because I am not ending this voiceover without knowing what that world is called. Oh my god, thank you, The Sims Wiki. It's called Glimmerbrook. That's where I will get in before when I said bruh, but that's Brindleton Bay. That's what it was, the brook, Glimmerbrook. And then the magic world is called, oh my god, what's the magic world called? Oh my god, what is it called? No, the Magic Realm. It's just called the Magic Realm, innit? Yeah, Glimmerbrook. I will never forget that now as long as I live, because I'll be reminded of this voiceover. But yeah, living room. What was I even on about? I can't remember. Oh, the layout of it is kind of weird. You seem to have to walk through the study to get to the living room, but it's fine. It is what it is. It's a feature. It's a feature of the house. You get a bit more exercise than, you know, you intended, because you have to walk so far to get to certain rooms. It's fine. My Sims don't even use living rooms, and I mention this every time, pretty much. But when I'm playing like gameplay, my Sims barely spend any time in the living room. The neighbours do. Like if the welcome wagon comes over, they like to be in the living room and like watch TV, or they'll go on like a computer. But I tend to change the security settings on computers so that other Sims can't go on them. But yeah, the study. I didn't really know what to do with this room, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, the floor plan kind of threw me off of the downstairs. There's something about it that I'm a bit like, I don't know, like I was struggling with it. I was struggling with the layout, the ideas. There's just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I decided to do a little study for your Sims to come and read a book if they want. I mean, they've got plenty of choice because those bookshelves are massive. I mean, you'll click on the bookshelf and it'll have like 12 books on it in like the actual game, but it looks like there's thousands. But yeah, then I also decided to do to put on a little chess table. I really like that chess table that we got with high school years. I think it's really cute. There's something about it. The fact that it's round, I think that's what draws me to it, which is a really weird thing to like about a chess table. But we've got so many like square chess tables. This one's like different, you know what I mean? It's a round one. It's breaking boundaries. It's being something different. It's not just a square chess table, it's round. Do you know what I would like actually? To have a chess table that's not a chess table. Like, it's chess, but you can put it on any surface, like in real life. Because I feel like who's actually got a chess table where there's a table with chess built into it? I feel like most people just have a box, they open the box out and that's the chess and they just play chess. I mean, not me, I've never played chess in my life, but I feel like the normal thing is not to have a table with built-in chess to it. I feel like nobody's got that. Like, I've never met anybody that's got a chess table, ever. I only know of them from The Sims, in fact, from like Sims 2. But yeah, anyway, this part of the house, like I said, it were going to be a grandparents' room, but I feel like I've done that a lot in a lot of my builds recently. I mean, I've done it in two, I think. The simple base game house I did had a grandma's room, and the Real to Sims build that I did had a grandma's room. And yeah, I just feel like I've done it a lot, so it ended up not being one, and I decided to do like a games room instead, which I feel like kind of just looks like I ran out of ideas. I kind of did run out of ideas. To be fair, I knew I wanted to have a games room, but I feel like this room doesn't really look like that good. I don't know, it looks a bit, I don't know, it just looks a bit shit, doesn't it, I think. The garage were going to be the, what do we call it, the games room, but then I thought, no, because we need a gym. So the garage ended up being the gym, and this is the games room. But I kind of imagine that the Sims over the years, like maybe it started off as a playroom, and maybe it was like a grand dining table at one point, or like when it was a farmhouse, like for an actual farm, like 100 years ago. Maybe it will like, I don't know, a storage room or something. I don't know, like it's just a room that the Sims have decided to throw a like table tennis in and a card game table. It is what it is. There's not that much thought that went into it. So if you do download this build and you want to redecorate it, you're welcome to. I mean, you can redecorate all of my builds if you want to download them. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the back garden. Did a similar sort of like dirt path that I did out front. I just wanted something sort of simple to kind of replicate the world. There's a couple of dirt path type thingies in Copperdale. They're not the same colour, like swatch or anything, just because that swatch doesn't exist in game. It's just like a world thing that we don't have access to, but I just wanted to sort of have the build reflect the world of Copperdale a bit better. And oh my god, I've just looked over at my computer to make sure I'm recording. I will delete this video before I re-record this voiceover, I'm telling you. But yeah, oh, imagine I'm not even recording with a proper mic. No, that would be awful. Should I check actually? We're alright, it's the right one. I've got my headset plugged in because I listened to the voiceover after I've recorded it, obviously, to edit it, and there's a microphone connected to my headset. Can you imagine if it were recording on that? Oh my god, that would sound so awful. I wouldn't even be able to do it with it because the microphone's like to the side, and oh no. But anyway, I feel like I've done a lot of rambling in this video and like gone off on tangents, but it's because I'm losing my marbles, that's why. But yeah, for the, what do we call it, the gym, the garage, whatever you want to call it, obviously it's not a functional garage because we don't have cars in the Sims 4, but I like to pretend that we do. But in this case, the Sims have just converted the garage into a home gym because they wanted to. And if they had a car, like if they ever bring out cars in the Sims 4, which I don't think they ever will, but if they did, you could always park the car on the driveway. Like there's plenty of space, you know what I mean? They'll manage. But yeah, I decided to have it as a gym just because, I don't know, I just wanted to. And yeah, I decided to put it on a diagonal just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I don't know if I already mentioned that. And I quite like the look of it. I think it's quite simple. It's quite basic, you know what I mean? It's just there to like serve a purpose really. And then I put up some posters kind of reflecting athletics, sports, whatever. I always put these posters up in like gyms or fitness rooms or whatever else you want to call it. And then for the rest of the garden, I went with some more landscaping. Sorry if you just heard my chair squeak. I'm like starting to fidget a little bit because I've been sat still for so long. But then I also did like a little barbecue area and like a patio thing. Put some bins down the side. And I also did a fire that we got with, what pack did that come with? Outdoor Retreat. I mainly use Outdoor Retreat for the foundation. You know, the how it's like elevated, oh my god, how do I explain this? The foundation, you know what a foundation is? The pattern on that, it's from Outdoor Retreat. So that's the main reason why I use that pack. So if you don't have Outdoor Retreat and you still want to download this, I would have said game, if you still want to download this build, you still can. The only thing that will really go missing is the foundation thing, which it'll just change to like a default one, a base game one. And then some chairs out the back. No, not even the chairs, just the fireplace. Not a fireplace, a fire pit. Because I wanted to have a fire pit because I thought it would be like a cute little thing. I don't know. Like I said, the season of autumn kind of inspired this build in a way. So for the back garden, I thought we could have a little fire pit that's kind of autumnal because bonfire nights in autumn. maybe a bit of a reach, but makes sense in my head that you'd have a fire pit, or like have a place where you can sit around the fire when it's cold and it's like bonfire night or whatever, which I'm now remembering that most of my audience is from North America, who don't celebrate bonfire night, so maybe that was a bit of an oversight, but it's fine, it's fine. It's not just British people that have fires in the garden, is it? It's quite a common thing. It doesn't have to be representative of bonfire night, it could be whatever you want. But yeah, anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up the voiceover now. There's still like a couple minutes left, so I hope you have fun watching that little bit, and then obviously there'll be screenshots at the end where you can see all of the rooms in all of the things that I did to the build. My god, I cannot speak anymore. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like on the video, that really helps me out. And if you have any like build suggestions, build ideas, video ideas, cast ideas, whatever it is, you can always let me know in the comments. And also, if you don't want to like comment it for some reason, because sometimes I'll watch a video and the person will be like, if you've got an idea for this, write it in the comments, and I was a bit like, I don't know, I feel a bit embarrassed to do that for some reason. I don't know why. So you can also DM me on Instagram if you want, or like Twitter or whatever you're able to DM me on. If you've got any ideas or you've got any like requests even, you can do that on Instagram's probably the best place, but Twitter is also an option, I think. Can you message people on Twitter? I don't know, I don't use the thing. I'm kind of scared of it actually, but yeah. Anyway, I am actually going to go now. I know I said that I was going to, but I am actually going to, because I feel like my vocal cords are turning into sand. Oh my god. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you have a good rest of your weekend, a good rest of your day, a good rest of your night, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. And I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!